Welcome to the No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. I'm Jay Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's my Top Shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Hello to everybody on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. On today's show, we're going to tackle a whole lot of trade rumors regarding your Chicago Bulls and the LA Clippers. And we'll talk about a few of last night's best games and performances. Before we get to all of that, we had some hilarious reactions to Tass's pick'em payoff goatee that we unveiled yesterday. Could I just share a few from the comment section on YouTube?
Yes, I saw some.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear how good these ones are.
First one, I didn't write any names down, so apologies, but thank you for these. Crying at the goatee reveal. Nothing fucking changed. They teased this payoff for a whole week, forgot to reveal it, then made the biggest deal out of their significant other's reactions to it. Then Tass looks exactly the same. Somebody wrote, this is simultaneously the greatest and worst pick'em payoff of all time. Tass is too handsome. Not fair. Supposed to look goofy. And then finally, I never thought we'd see a pick'em payoff easier than Tass eating that Arby's sandwich, but here we are. And holy crap, was I howling to that one.
That was a good one.
Because you had to eat Arby's at 10 a.m. in the morning once.
I love that. I worked out before that. I was so hungry. I put some applesauce on an Arby's roast beef sandwich, and I was happy eating that. But listen, that's what a show is. A show sometimes steps up to the plate with these pick and payoffs, hits a double, hits a triple, hits a ding dong, and sometimes they'll frickin' swing and miss. Yeah. And that's what this is. Yeah.
We cannot knock them all out of the park. You're right.
I could have done this better. I could have dyed it as we talked about, but I ain't dyeing it.
It just looks nice. It just looks good. What does your significant other think of your goatee?
Yeah, she basically said it doesn't look all that different. I said, so should I keep it? And she said, no, I like a beard better.
Right.
But yeah, it ain't that different.
So good. Well, look, we'll try and do better. If you have a really good suggestion for the loser of December's Pick'em battle, let us know. Some people were also sharing some of those ideas. So,
Anything good?
I don't know. I didn't write them down. No, honestly, I'd say no. Nothing that jumped out to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But maybe the swerve is we do nice things now.
Yeah. You got to wear a shirt you don't like that much. You got to wear a hat.
You know how I feel about wearing hats. I already wore one on
sit on the
Notebook.
other side of the table.
I did try and suit my shirt to a goatee. Like I thought that this would be a shirt that a person with a goatee would wear.
I think you nailed that. It was like a polo or whatever. Yeah.
I know some people suggested maybe Trey should have a goatee. Maybe Skeet should have a goatee if you lose. Just because it would be more of a punishment because it's a stark difference than your actual day-to-day beard.
Oh, you literally want to just run it back.
Well, that was the suggestion. I think that was the best suggestion I saw.
Interesting.
Man, nobody wants it.
Not really.
I get
No,
it.
we avoided it.
I
So.
get it.
All right, so let's get into some trade talk here or rumors, and we'll sprinkle in some game talk as we do it, because I want to start with the Chicago Bulls, because they apparently have held internal discussions about acquiring Mavericks big man Anthony Davis. Sources told ESPN this on Monday. However, team sources said the Bulls will not sacrifice any of their young core to execute such a deal until the team is closer to contention. The Bulls believe AD, though, could help with their rim protection and defensive issues. So that was the report.
I agree.
And if you watch last night's game, they absolutely could use Anthony Davis. Vucevic defense is literally stand in the paint, and when a guy comes at him, he just puts his hands up, and guys just go around him. It happens so many times. I know it's happened all season here, but
Yeah, you forgot the last part of his defense. Shrugging.
well, yeah, he's like, oh God, Jesus, I put my hands up. What else need to do? Again, let's start with the Bulls fan here, and this is something I know it's come up before, but now that we have this report from ESPN, what's your opinion on this? Should they be active in trying to get AD if it doesn't cost them one of their young core pieces?
No, they shouldn't. I don't
Okay.
think the Bulls should do this unless the price is perfectly right. the Bulls are not in a position to trade any of their own first-round picks. They have a second first-round pick coming from Portland for this year's draft, but it's lottery protected. It's kind of a toss-up right now, I think, if the Blazers will be in the lottery. Sure. But the Bulls aren't close to winning. Adding Anthony Davis is not equivalent to adding Pascal Siakam, as it's mentioned in the article. They're basically trying to rip off the Pacers, even though I don't think Giddey is at Halliburton's level as a floor raiser. And more concerns, I think, with Davis being healthy and even fitting the style that the Bulls play. The Bulls want to play fast like Indiana did, but Anthony Davis doesn't play fast. That guy's a slow player at this point in his career. But we heard from Tim Bontemps a couple of weeks ago on their podcast that nobody's lining up to trade for Anthony Davis. So if it's low ball season, then go for it. They could do Vooch. They could do Kobe White. They could do Kevin Huerter to make the contracts work. Include that Portland lottery protected pick. Could it be a first? Who knows? That's not a great deal for the Mavericks, which is why I don't think a deal would get done. But there's basically no way the Mavericks should say yes to a deal from the Bulls unless it includes a Chicago first-round pick, because there's a good chance that thing could be nice. Or if it includes any of their young guys, which I don't even think the Bulls are silly enough to trade Boo Zealous.
No.
But, you know, the Mavericks would want Kobe White or Ayo Dosunmu, guards who could help their team alongside Cooper Flagg. And those guys are both on expiring contracts. The Bulls are going to have to make a decision on if they want to pay him. I know they think Kobe's still part of the core. I like the way he's developed as a player. He fits nice alongside some of the guys that they've invested in, but he's not going to be a huge needle mover. So if he has to go to get the deal done, then it's fine. But the bottom line for me is that the price has to be so low to get Anthony Davis, just because the Bulls are so far away. Like, this would be a move that could get them into the top 6 in the Eastern Conference. And I don't think that's enough of a motivation to trade away big pieces of the future when you don't even know what the future really looks like at this point.
I think the Bulls should do it because Anthony Davis and what it will cost them won't handcuff them for the near future, because they don't have a lot of money locked up next season. And you look at the 2026 free agents, they ain't all that spectacular, even though the Bulls have room to have 2 maxes, according to my math, this coming offseason. Who are they signing? So I went through all the names, and really, it ain't all that spectacular. There's, Trey, Zach LaVine, and James Harden are all on player options for next year. So, there's an outside chance you get one of those guys, but I think it's more in the realm of an Anthony Simons or somebody like that. So I don't see registering a little bit of cost here for Anthony Davis as much of a problem, because if it's the deal which works, Vooch and Huerter and one of either Dosunmu or Kobe White, that literally works without a draft pick, if you can sneak that in because the cost is low for Anthony Davis, maybe you can get it done. I mean, one pick probably has to go, and it could be that Blazers pick, which is lottery protected. I think you do it because, again, they don't have basically no money tied up next year. It's Giddey at 25, and Pat Williams is your second highest payer at 18, and then Okoro. So they have lots of room, and Anthony Davis for this year and his 2 guaranteed years after this one, I think that's fine. I think you give it a shot for that cost. I don't think it's really a lot of cost because, as that report said, it was Bontemps reporting, saying that no one's lining up. So how much more are they getting for Anthony Davis? That's the question.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, especially from the Bulls fan, that you were including Kobe White here into a potential deal. Like you said, it's going to be Vooch, and it's going to
big number,
and it could be Kobe White, whether or not he's a part of the young core or he's not. Right? Is it Giddey, Boo Zealous, and Kobe White? Or is Kobe White sort of on the fringe of those other 2 and he would be moved? And then, is it Kevin Huerter and his expiring deal? If you're the Bulls, I'm sure you would love to get off of Patrick Williams' contract. I don't think the Mavericks would want that. And then whatever sort of draft capital. Now, the good thing is the Bulls do have a lot of picks. Like, they could trade up to 5 firsts, 5 second picks. They're not doing all that. I'm saying they have that sort of war chest. And they will have a bunch of cap room, like you're saying, too. So they're in a good spot. It's just whether, like, a 32-year-old Anthony Davis, given his contract, given his injury history, how much better does he make you here in the Eastern Conference? You add him to the team, like they're going to suddenly at least reduce the amount of points in the paint they're giving up if he plays.
Yes.
If he plays, right? They gave up 62 points in the paint last night to the Magic. They've given up a ton after the very hot start. It's something like, what was it? It's like 55 or 56 points in the paint, like since the hot start. It's a hell of a lot. So 80 helps there for sure. And if I'm with you guys, I'm saying if the cost is very, very low, it's sort of like, hey, bring him back. You keep saying he's a Chicago boy. Why not? They got a bunch of those on the team too.
He's a traitor. He's a Packers fan.
Oh yeah, right.
Still unbelievable to me that this guy is a Packers fan. He was wearing a Michael Parsons jersey to go to a Dallas Mavericks game. He's ruffling all kinds of feathers. The Bulls need to bottom out. They need to be bad. That's the thing. Like, doing this Anthony Davis move is a very Bulls move because it keeps him competitive.
Yeah.
And he's a big name. And he's a Chicago guy. Those are all things that the Bulls like. They need to be bad and they need to get Cam Boozer. Let everybody wear their Carlos Boozer Bulls jerseys again. They don't need to be in the middle here. They've been in the middle since the trade for Vucevic in 2021. Getting Anthony Davis keeps them right in the middle in the Eastern Conference because it doesn't vault them near the top of the standings, I don't believe. Davis isn't that big of a difference maker in this career, at this point in his career, if he becomes the number one. They need to bottom out. And as we've seen in the month of November, they're not going to be a super competitive team. They're going to somehow end up in the play-in tournament. They're going to be in the 38 to 36 win range here. They need to be in the 20s. For wins, and they need to actually get their lottery odds juiced so that they maybe have a chance to get a franchise cornerstone because they still don't have that right now.
Right.
Yeah. And from Dallas' side, they want picks. They've given away all their picks. Yeah. That is what they want. So that's what they're saying with the Chicago Bulls. We want one of your picks. The Bulls have every single one of their picks for the next 7 years. We want one of your picks because it could be bad. We don't necessarily want the Blazers one because it's lottery protected and it rolls over to the next 2 years after this one. It's a Bulls pick that they want. So that's what it comes down to, really.
You brought up how the ESPN article also talked about this idea how the Bulls are reportedly trying to mimic the Pacers' formula for success. And yeah, there's maybe you squint and you see the similarity between Giddey and Halliburton, at least like these up-tempo point guards who really want to move the ball and get off of it. But the big caveats are, one, the Pacers were a much better defense. Like they were actually pretty average, above average, I should say, in a good way. 13th in defensive rating last year. And this idea of like, they had a second star who's a really good player in Pascal Siakam. And Bulls maybe are praying that Buzelis turns into that, but that's a couple years down the line if that even comes to fruition. And so, yeah, they're looking for that second guy. But hey, it's a copycat league.
Exactly. It is a copycat league, and they're like, we can wear guys down.
Right.
You know, Karnisovas said it. We need to have 10 really good players and no great players. The teams at the top of the league have great players.
Yeah.
Like all-time greats. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an all-time great. Nikola Jokic is an all-time great. You look at every team that's winning championships, they have a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame. You need a Hall of Famer on your team to win in the NBA. Anthony Davis will be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, there you go. You just answered it.
You know, he's 32.
Pacers almost got there. They're so close. But Halliburton ain't Josh Giddey, or Josh Giddey ain't Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, that's a huge part of it.
About the game itself, the Bulls were leading by 15 in the third quarter against the Magic last night. This one on where were we on last night? I can never remember.
Peacock.
We were on Peacock. Oh yeah, we're also on Peacock tonight. That
was a Peacock one last night.
But the Magic, stormed back into this game and got the victory in the end, 125-120, and Desmond Bane, a monster. Once again, another 37-point performance. He took over in the fourth quarter. Got some help, though. Anthony Black played well. Some great defensive stands, I thought, or at least sections of this game from Suggs or Batazzi. There was a moment there in this game before he got hurt with the hip injury. He was blocking shots left and right. Thoughts on the game? I'll start with you here, Tass. On the Magic, getting it going here without Paolo still.
Yeah, the Magic effort with Goga Block-Tazi. I don't have a really good nickname for him, but there's one comment. Jalen Suggs, I think, is the effort. He is their spark. He is their heart on the defensive end. But watching Desmond Bane at the end of this game, where the offense was literally going through him, and it was just hey, you have the ball at the top, we'll get you a pick, and you just get downhill, and he was doing that fantastically well. He jumped 37 points back-to-back games for this guy, 18 points in the fourth quarter. And as soon as he drew enough attention, that's when enough of the floor opened up for Anthony Black, who took it to the rim, that big body getting to the rim. Or Franz Wagner, he's still there. He did some great stuff in this game too. So there was just enough space for them to get downhill. It is interesting to see how Bane has grown here in, a month and a half, he looks like the offense at times when he needs to be in the fourth quarter. And they, I believe, can still have an offense that turns to Franz. And at one point, they're going to turn to Paolo Banchero when he comes back. So they look spectacular. They looked really, really fun.
It's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Because you're right, Bane has been playing better basically since Paolo went down. The speed of the game is a lot faster for the Magic.
Yeah.
But Bulls also just couldn't keep the ball in front of them at all. The Magic shot 65% on 2-pointers in this game, 62 points in the paint. And you mentioned it, Jalen Suggs made the biggest play of the game. Ripped the ball out of Vooch's hands on an offensive rebound. Bane finally missed the shot, missed the three from the right wing. Big board by Suggs, find him at the top of the key, knocks it down. But yeah, 37 for Bane, and he only made 3 threes. I thought he was just getting downhill any single time he wanted to.
Yeah, the Bulls just had... there was 3 possessions in the second quarter that was like shooting practice for the Magic. It was a Jalen Suggs, a Franz Wagner, and a Tyus Jones in between there that were just open 3 after open 3 after open 3. So, yeah, the Bulls just weren't there. Unfortunately, just not enough. Not enough of that defense thing.
It wasn't a great sign that, I mean, I watched the majority of this game, that it felt like Trey Jones was the best Bulls player for a majority of the game. He played really well. He was cooking his brother. He went at Tyus a couple times and put him in the basket or blew by him. So he played really well for the Bulls, but that's not probably the best sign that I was like, oh, is he the best Bulls player out there right now? He's doing the most, that's for sure. But it was a close game, competitive game. Very funny to see Austin Rivers and Vince Carter sitting in the front row doing the broadcast. Like they're on their benches. That's what Peacock's trying out here with these guys like embedded with the teams. But usually they're like, you know, a couple rows back, you know, sort of like blend in a little bit more. They're sitting in the front row between fans and then I guess the first assistant coach for the teams. It looked hilarious.
Very, very funny. They definitely got upgraded on their seats because you're right. They were like 2 or 3 rows back, like sitting kind of behind the benches, which is what I thought. Isn't even that what it's called? Like behind the bench or something.
That's
like
a good point. Yeah,
maybe sitting courtside. I couldn't believe it. You definitely want to be in LA though, because in Orlando, Austin and Vince Carter, they were the celebrities.
Oh yeah,
They were like that random dude sitting next to Vince Carter's probably like, this is awesome. I get to sit next to Vince Carter. In LA, Derek Fisher was sitting next to Jimmy Iovine, and Robbie Hummel was sitting next to Austin Butler.
Yeah, a little bit different.
That's weird though. I actually can't believe they're doing that. Taking away a seat, a courtside seat from a fan.
Yeah, that part's strange.
That's a good point.
Unless maybe that is an additional coach's seat and they bump like one of the coach, like, you know what I mean? It's like they bump a third assistant coach back. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all strange because unless you're really locked into a game, you don't even know that they're there. Even as a fan, you really have to be paying attention for that one time they show Austin Rivers there. Like, you know, we know because we geek it up, and Austin Rivers is talking up Orlando Magic teammates. Jonathan Isaac is such a good guy. I thought, whoa, did he play there? No, he didn't play there. He didn't know of him there, but Vince did. Was Vince sitting beside the Magic
Vince
bench?
was by the Magic bench, yes, and Rivers was down by the Bulls bench.
But do you even realize it after the game? Like,
I mean, I realized it a lot more last night because you saw them all the time. Vince in his maroon suit, and Rivers in his suit, so you always saw them. Otherwise, they blend in a lot more. I gotta say, Austin Rivers, I think, is great on the broadcast. I think he's actually pretty funny. Like, at least he's funny. He's saying things, and he's like always like, he does a lot of like, I can't say that, wish I could say that. It's like, okay, stop teasing me, man. But he like them being right by the Bulls bench. There was a couple things where he's talking about like the Bulls bench is like going nuts over Trey Jones cooking his brother, and I don't know. I think he brings a little color to the broadcast. Vince is a little more even keeled, doesn't say as much in my opinion.
Yes.
So I'll compliment Rivers, I thought, on at least making some interesting observations and bringing a little humor. But it's a weird setup.
It's a weird setup.
It's weird, man. But they have a monitor on their lap. You notice that? Like they're holding.
Oh, really?
I mean, they have to watch replays and stuff.
Full,
yeah. They need a monitor to see the replays and graphics and stuff. It's fascinating.
If you're sitting courtside, it should have to be the complete fan experience. Like you can get somebody to deliver you popcorn and a drink. You got to look up at the Jumbotron to see what's happening. They shouldn't give you all the amenities that a broadcaster gets. All you get is a mic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was one of those guys sitting next to them, like I'm definitely like making some points, you know? trying to get on the broadcast.
That was a good
Hey,
pass,
Vince, did you see that? See that cut? See that off-ball action? Don't miss that, man.
I don't know how long they can do it for. If they have to have a monitor on their lap.
They definitely do.
Pretty weird.
They
man.
definitely do.
Yeah. Well, is Vince going to like having a laptop on his legs? I don't think so. Is it like literally on their
It's like they're
leg?
holding it. It's like a it's not.
gosh.
It's like an iPad, I guess. The size of that.
That makes sense. I thought that
Yeah.
was like a clipboard,
Nah.
but it's 2025.
Yeah.
They should have better stuff. Austin Rivers, he loves to say no wasted movement. No wasted movement. That's not even bag work. That's just getting downhill.
I love it.
No wasted movement.
I love it, guys. Oh my god. Okay, so good win here from the Magic. As they're racking up the victories here without Paolo. They're climbing the
Cooking.
Eastern Conference. Yeah. And Anthony Black, my final note on him, guy does not want to take a left-handed layup.
No.
But holy crap, is he good at going on the left side and finishing with his right. It's like, but the defense should know that. Not that Vooch is going to do anything anyway, but yeah, he just rarely takes a left-handed layup. It's amazing.
Yeah, the question is, I hope Paolo is able to stay at that three-point line because you have guys like Anthony Black, who ain't the best of three-point shooters. He needs to get downhill. Desmond Bane is freaking good at getting downhill, so they got to space the floor, and Paolo's three-point shots got to get better to keep spacing
That'd be
that
nice.
thing.
Okay, let's briefly touch on Anthony Davis, who which started this off with the rumor about him going to the Bulls. He did have a monster game. Was that his second game back, if I remember correctly?
He played against LA.
Yeah.
didn't he?
Okay. So second game back.
Sat one game, yeah, in between, right?
Okay, 32 points for him as the Mavericks beat the Nuggets 131-121. Again, great game, 32, 13, and 4. And then Ryan Nembhard, good old Canadian boy, Ryan Nembhard with 28 points, 10 assists, and 4 threes. TK, thoughts on the Mavs shocking the Nuggets here?
Nembhard's hooping right now.
Yeah.
Started the last 3 games for Dallas, giving them a little bit more shooting, I think, than Brandon Miller does. He's 9 of 15.
Brandon Williams. Yeah, you did the Brandon yesterday.
You called,
Yeah,
you called Brandon Miller Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
And now
Let's
you-
go, Brandon. Unbelievable.
let's go, Brandon.
How many other Brandons are there? Is that all of them?
Yeah.
Brandon Williams, Brandon Ingram,
The big man for the Mavs is gone now. That Brandon, what was his name?
Brandon Wright.
Brandon
yeah,
Wright.
That was a guy. Anyway, Ryan Nembhard, brother of Aaron Nembhard,
right.
shooting it well. Brandon Williams, not necessarily.
Brandon Clark. He's still in
Brandon
the
Clark
league.
hasn't played.
Yeah.
Hasn't played. That's why it's tough to remember him. I also had Emmanuel Miller kicking around in my head.
Manuel.
Brother of Leonard Miller.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Anyways.
Whoa, deep cut.
Brandon Boston Jr. still plays?
So
I haven't seen him on a court.
I know.
But that guy is a Brandon Ingram clone.
He hasn't played yet this season. I don't even know if he's still in the league. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
New shortcoming soon. Know your Brandons.
Sure.
Ryan Nembhard, 28 points, 10 assists. Big pull-up jumper with 2 minutes left. Next play down, breaks down the defense same way, finds Max Christie, brother of Cam Christie, in the corner.
Damn, everybody's a sibling.
Everybody has a brother or shares a name with somebody. But you guys totally called it. The Nuggets are playing to the level of their competition right now. Maybe part of that is having Aaron Gordon out. I do feel like he's an emotional leader for their team, but Dallas came in and is still 30th in offense, and they had 102 points after 3 quarters, and it looked pretty easy for the Mavericks to score. They were totally in rhythm, so then when it came to the fourth quarter, they just couldn't miss. 35 assists for Dallas as well. The ball was really moving, 18 fast break points. They were just running and gunning on the Nuggets, and I thought Davis played good big man basketball. Like, there's a lot of times he's setting a cross screen for Cooper Flagg. Cooper comes around and is able to get to the rim. That's another guy that likes to take a left-handed layup. He had quite a few last night, but Davis was just setting screens, finishing plays. I think he may have had 4 assists last night, but wasn't a big playmaker for him. He was just doing his job out there, getting into the rhythm of things. You know, people were concerned that he was coming in out of shape this season. There are some photos where he looks like a big boy, for sure. He looked trimmed to me last night. Maybe the time off gave him a chance to get his body right and get ready to play for the Mavs. So they had a tough start to the season, but they're now 7-15. Nobody's really running away in the Western Conference. I don't think it's over for Dallas this year.
yeah, it's truly interesting in the Western Conference because they're 2 games out of the play-in tournament, and they're getting their guys together, and they're playing a point guard, which was a huge chunk of the story for the beginning of the season because Cooper Flagg was just freaking thrown in there. Then they tried D'Angelo Russell. It didn't work out there. They tried Brandon Ingram, Miller, Williams, and now they're giving it to Ryan Nembhard, who is now their starting point guard, who's got to start. They're 2-1 since he started, and I think he's very, very good. That good Canadian boy from Aurora, Ontario. 28-10, yeah, I think he's really important to this team. Now, on the other side, this Denver Nuggets team with Jamal Murray leaving in the third quarter and not coming back, and then losing the fourth quarter 29-17. That was the key to this whole game, is because they didn't have Jamal Murray on the floor with Christian Brown out, and Aaron Gordon out. A huge worry for them if he's not there, because this Denver Nuggets team has lost 4 straight at home. That's yucky. Well, hopefully he comes back. And hopefully AD keeps playing, even though he had a finger wedgie in this game. And I don't mean sticking it in his own pants. I mean, like it literally between the rim and the board almost. Like it was like the rim and the board. I guess it wasn't right in between, but it was up there. But he's just out there doing what he does. And obviously Cooper Flag is getting better. Seeing him being pushed by Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd wanted him to go at Jokic, who plays like Vooch on defense at times. It's just a hands up, just go by me kind of thing. And Cooper Flag was doing it really, really well. They just got great contribution. As you said, the assists were up. They look like a different team. So that's why the Western Conference is interesting. Do they want to trade Anthony Davis, or do they want to be the team that Mark Cuban says they will be? Yeah. We ain't trading that guy. They literally are not far. The teams that are at the bottom of the play-in are the Grizzlies and the Blazers. They should be better than them. I took the Mavs as an over preseason on their win total because I believed in them. Kyrie Irving's going to play for them at some point, so this is an interesting team.
I mean, whether they trade him or not, this is still good. Him coming back and looking awesome and sort of dominating here against Jokic and in Denver, because it's just going to, in theory, increase his trade value. So that's great. If they keep him, that's also good too, because he paired really nicely, I thought, with Cooper Flag and a point guard in Ryan Nembhard. For the Nuggets, this was something we talked about when those guys went down with injuries. Like, is Cam Johnson going to step up here now and sort of like take on more of a role? I thought he had a really quiet, sort of like non-existent game. 1 of 6 from deep, 3 of 10 overall, so only 10 points. I didn't feel his impact out there all that much at all. I sort of forgot. It was the game started with just going to Spencer Jones for every basket. That guy's got a funky looking shot, eh?
Yes,
holy
he does.
Man, he's got the Reggie Miller, like his arm like comes out weird, but he was scoring and Jokic was finding him, because the Mavericks, I think, were like, who the hell is this guy? But yeah, Cam Johnson, come on, man. I need a little bit more here. Sort of especially stepping into the role with those guys out, and then Jamal Murray going out. It wasn't great from the Nuggets, and they're 14-6 overall, so great record still. But like you said, struggling at home, which is weird. Very weird.
And most of their losses are against under 500 teams. Like they lost to the Bulls, they lost to the Mavericks here, Kings maybe, and then I think the Spurs.
Yeah, the Kings they lost to Westbrook.
The Kings.
Right?
Westbrook.
Yeah.
It's been the Bulls, Kings, Spurs, and Mavs. So their last 4 losses.
Wow.
Focus
home.
problem.
Fascinating. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but lots more game talk, and we'll talk about trading a bunch of guys from the Clippers because they got waxed last night. Don't go anywhere. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. And today, Tuesday, December 2nd, you can get a 30% SGP PBT. What's that, JE? I said 30% SGP PBT. Huh? What the F are you talking about? 30% same game parlay profit boost token.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What an acronym.
Learn your acronyms. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join, because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. As we pivot into some Clipper trade ideas, let's start with the game itself. Miami Heat on fire from 3, tied a franchise record 24 3-pointers last night. They rolled the Clippers 140-123. And they, at one point, Tass, went on a 30-2 run. The Heat did in the second quarter.
Yeah.
They shot 9 of 12 over that stretch. Powell had 11, his revenge game. Clippers missed all 11 of their shots. It was clank, 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 clank. And so, the score almost looks closer than it was. It wasn't that close.
No, it wasn't.
And it was already bad and it's gotten worse here for LA.
Watching that Clippers run, I thought the Clippers had their own run because early in the late first, early second, I saw Jordan Miller come off the bench for 6 straight points. Jordan Miller, when they need somebody on the bench to come off, because we talked about them the last 2 games, because they have swung and missed on all of their offseason transactions and everybody looks old. Their bench has been struggling, but to see that guy score 6 straight, and then Kawhi was awesome. So they had an 18-2 run. I thought that was the best part of their game, because then here comes that Heat run that you mentioned. It was
30-2.
It was 32, 20-0 to start, and they had a 41-point second quarter. The Clippers were just dropping on every single pick. They were dropping and allowing the Heat to fire from 3, and so that's why you saw so many. And Tyronn Lue said, you know what? A couple minutes into the third quarter, you guys are all sitting. He sat every single one of his starters. Now, some of them came back, but it was a real hockey move. All 5 of you guys, after 2 minutes, sit down.
Yeah.
He was mad, obviously, because they were getting destroyed. So that drop defense wasn't working. James Harden finally had a bad game. So overall...
And he was the guy that didn't come
old.
back, by the way,
right,
when they pulled all 5 guys.
That's the worry.
We did not see James Harden, I don't think, for the rest of the game.
Right. Yeah. That was worrisome.
Thoughts on the game itself here on the Heat, putting up another 140.
It looked like the Clippers were shocked that the Heat were taking these threes. Like they had never seen them play this year. Miami likes to play fast, and they walked into so many open 3-pointers, starting with Bam Adebayo on one of the first possessions of the game, just wide open from the top of the key. So many of these looks were wide open for Miami. Unfortunately, the NBA.com video box scores were not updated today because I feel like Eric Reed was like 20 for 24, kabooming.
Oh, he was kabooming hard.
So hard. Hit kabam for a Bam Adebayo. I like that. But a disappointing effort from the Clippers. They're really struggling this season. And it's because they're not playing defense. And this to me looked like they didn't have a game plan at all for how to combat a team like the Heat, which are a bad matchup for them just because of the athleticism difference and the commitment to pace that Miami has made this season. So if the Clippers come out and they aren't going to run, they're going to get smacked like this, 24-9 from the 3-point line. That's really the story of the entire game.
Yeah, you said Bam hit that one to start early. He finished with 5 threes. Norman Powell, again, revenge game for Norm, 6 of 10 from deep. Wiggins hit 2. Davion Mitchell didn't miss from 3. He went 4 for 4. Tyler Hero went 4 of 6. A couple guys on the bench chipping in a 3 here or there. But the starters, I just went through the 5 starters there. They all were on fire from deep. So everybody, this wasn't the case of one guy was on fire and it was a weird fluke game. They were all wide open shots because there's no defensive backbone to this team. Nobody cares right now, too, is the concern.
Yeah, that's a lot of threes. 24 threes overall. They hit 14 in the first half. And, a lot of them were just, hey, we're playing drop defense. And they didn't want it. They're obviously struggling to get back in transition. Their Oldham is obviously a big problem with that. Literally when I started talking about Jordan Miller, because I have hopes for somebody off the bench just to help out. But nobody really else was helping out off the bench. Otherwise, he had 6 points and then Batum had 3. So that's why they got spanked in that second quarter and they ain't coming back, even though Ty Lue said, you all sit because we need something.
I mean, you might as well at that point.
Yeah.
You can't even blame them.
Yeah, no. It kind of helped them. But what they really want is what the Heat are doing. The on-ball defense of Davion Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins is just there every single time. And that's important. And that's their defense, and the Clippers, they do not have that.
That was Miami's 5th time reaching the 140-point mark this season, after getting there a total of 8 times in the franchise's 37 seasons. They've done it 5 times this year. 140, they've hit that mark. They did it 8 combined times in the franchise's history. So that's how great this offense is clicking right now. But let's pivot back to the Clips and let's trade some guys, because they need to, they legit need to blow this up. I think. Yeah. I don't think this is going to fix itself here. So maybe they look at moving one of their main guys for whatever. Yeah. Some players, some young players, some draft capital. So what do you got here?
I agree. It's December 2nd. The Clippers are 5-16. they have to be thinking about trading some of their big parts because their offseason transactions were all swing and miss. Bradley Beal, he's already out for the season with an injury. Brook Lopez has been yanked from the rotation, and the Norman Powell for John Collins trade really, really hurts them offensively. Their old guys are not getting younger. So I propose some deals for each one of their big guys.
Okay.
Let's start with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard to the Miami Heat. Now, this trade works on all the trade boards out there, all your trade machines.
Okay.
The Heat receive Kawhi Leonard. The Clippers would receive Andrew Wiggins, Simone Fontecchio, Nikola Jovic. There's a young guy. We need a young guy
Who's
in there.
been brutal this year, but yes, young.
Kashad Johnson and a 2029 first-round pick. What do you guys think of that? Wiggy, Fontecchio, Jovic, Kashad Johnson, and a first-round pick for Kawhi Leonard.
So if I'm the Heat, I'm upgrading Andrew Wiggins for Kawhi Leonard. Sign me up. I don't mind that at all. For them. This is are the Clippers sort of getting enough here in exchange? I don't know, but I think Miami is definitely considering this because that's what the upgrade is, and they're playing well, and it's a wide open East, as we keep saying. Feels like it is, so I don't mind that.
I actually think this is a pretty good trade from both sides. I don't think I'm totally convinced Kawhi is a huge upgrade over Andrew Wiggins at this point.
Okay.
Respect for Wiggy.
Sure, Kawhi has better stats across the board in literally every single category, including percentages, except for Wiggins is a little bit better passer. But Wiggins plays.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
That's
big.
huge.
Yeah.
And he plays fast. Kawhi Leonard doesn't play fast. We see it with the Clippers. This is a huge key for the Miami Heat. Running and gunning, shooting three-pointers, getting off the ball, driving and kicking. Wiggins is bought into this system right now, whereas with who you play with Kawhi, all he wants to do is ISO and shoot mid-range jumpers.
But there are a lot of ISO possessions on the Heat too,
Absolutely,
and he
there
is
are.
still an elite ISO player, so he
Yeah.
sort of fits that mold. I hear you on the pace of everything, but he also then is not asked to do as much in this really good Heat team with Bam and Tyler Hero and Norm playing the way he is. It was interesting he didn't have Tyler Hero going out in this, I thought, which is what I think the Clippers would be like. We want Tyler Hero because we want a younger guy that can score and play with some juice. But okay, he doesn't mind the deal.
Yeah, I was trying to make the package the one that I think the Clippers could actually get. That type of quality. And I know Kawhi Leonard's a freaking good player, but he's 34. He's paid for this year and next year. And as you said about Andrew Wiggins, that guy plays. That is a huge factor here with Kawhi. We're getting close to a point in Kawhi's career where we don't know if he's going to be playing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's clear.
And that's why you're trading him to a team that believes they are one guy like Kawhi away from like competing for a title. Be it the Heat, I guess other teams would be the Warriors, let's say the Bucks, like that are like struggling right now and need to get back up to that level in their cases. But like it's tough to make a deal with those teams.
Exactly.
So
They are. I went through the trade machine for the Warriors. Didn't look good just because of how top heavy they are in their salaries. You ain't trading Steph. You ain't trading Draymond. You ain't trading Jimmy.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Kuminga's a part of it.
Yeah.
That's what the Clippers would want. Okay, now you're talking about something, but then to get there is very difficult.
And the Heat definitely want a guy to play ISO ball at times in the playoffs, like come playoffs. I think Spoelstra will say, we need somebody to just produce. Will Kawhi be out there is a fair question. What they're giving up here, a first round pick, is that too much for the Miami Heat? I don't know. I think this is doable. Jovic has not lived up to that contract that he signed this offseason. He's coming off the bench, and he hasn't been one of those quick movers. Move that ball, play ISO if you need to. So
he's turnover
I thought this was
prone.
comparable.
He's not good with the ball. I had higher hopes for him. He's in year 4. I talked with KOC on his podcast yesterday about Jovic. He came up. And I expected bigger things. Like we brought up the game that they just had against the Pistons, I think, where he coughed the ball over like twice in a 10-second span, and they were just like, they were the bad turnovers. It was like, I don't know, what are you doing? You're panicking. You're giving it up. You don't trust your handle. But I mean, all that to say, like, I understand like a player like that going to the Clippers or going to a new spot, maybe like. He unlocks something and he's still not like going to be out of the league next year. I'm not saying that. Like there's something there. He's just really been bad. And the Heat have so many guys that Spoelstra just goes to ahead of them now. Like, no, like obviously Hawkes Jr. is like bounced back, but there's so many other guys on the wing, Paul Larson and stuff like that. So he's also just getting squeezed in terms of opportunity. So, but maybe going to LA and playing in the Intuit Dome would unlock something. Okay, I love it. I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Pretty fair, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to James Harden. James Harden moving to the Minnesota Timberwolves. The package that would be coming back to have James Harden playing beside Anthony Edwards, would that work? The package would be Naz Reid, Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham, a youngie there for the oldie Clippers, and Joe Ingles. Now, this can't be done till January 15th, and Minnesota would have to sign 3 players because that's taken a lot of guys off their roster. So they're two ways with great names like Johnny Juzang, Enrique Freeman, and Rocco Zikarsky. You're up, boys.
Right.
You're no longer two ways. That being said, what do you guys think of Naz Reid, Conley, Dillingham, and Ingles going to the Wolves? Excuse me,
Going
the
to
Clips.
Clippers.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about Harden on the Timberwolves here?
I don't hate it.
So you want a point guard that you can trust here, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, with Conley too old, Dillingham too young, not there yet, or maybe never will be. So here you go, you get Harden.
I don't think they're really giving up all that much. The Timberwolves wouldn't. Conley is a good guy to have around. I don't have a lot of faith in Dillingham right now. Joe Ingles inbounds the ball. he's good at it.
Yeah, Naz
He
Reid's
always knows the play.
Yeah,
Naz is
Reid's
the best part.
piece
Naz
here.
Reid is
Yeah.
the best player leaving for the Timberwolves, but he's kind of struggling this season. He's got a long contract. They've got players at his position, though maybe Gobert isn't long for the Timberwolves with his contract coming to a close pretty soon here. They would have to pay Harden right away because he is going to be a free agent or at least extension eligible after the season. So would you rather pay Naz Reid at 26 years old for the next 4 years or James Harden at 36 for the next 4 years? I think that's a tough question to answer there. My dream location for Harden is somehow making his way to the Rockets.
Go
to
back
be a big
home.
shot maker for them. But that's almost impossible without Fred VanVleet being included or a ton of picks. But I don't know. It does feel to me like the Timberwolves need some sort of a shakeup. Like they're a good team, but there are teams that are clearly ahead of them right now.
Right. And so that's why I included Harden here going to Minnesota. The other option was, the Rockets, as you said. They need somebody to make shots. Is Anthony Edwards in this scenario okay with Harden handling the ball so much? Because he has been focusing and increasing his possessions at the end of games as the guy. Can Harden play off that? At times in the postseason, he can. And so I do think this is an interesting one. I do think this thins out their front court, the Timberwolves, a little bit because it's Rudy Gobert getting older along with Julius Randle, and then you're getting super young beyond that. So that's the scary part, I think, for the Timberwolves. So I'm not sure they would even do this.
Were you tinkering with the trade machine in a Wolves, Clippers, Harden, Randall sort of thing here? Moving off of Randall? Yeah.
I didn't throw Randall in there. I know Trey mentioned him on our Substack page when he's doing his power rankings and talking about moving away from Julius Randle. I didn't do the math on him.
Okay, I didn't either, so I was curious.
Yeah, just because, I mean, he is such a big part of their team. But he would I think he makes basically what Nas plus a Mike Conley would. So it could work financially, I do think.
Right. The idea, if the Wolves shake it up, though, it's like get a guard and get rid of one of your bigs in having sort of the luxury of having 3 pretty good, even though I'm with TK. I think Naz Reid has struggled. I think Naz Reid's had a weird career. He facilitates back and forth between underrated and overrated. It's like, I feel like it switches all the time with him, but that's the plan. At least you'd move out one of your bigs, and then you would try and get a guard. But James Harden, man, is the defense going to, around him going to be good enough? Maybe you believe you still be fine. If Edwards plays at an elite level, McDaniels, Gobert, you still like your backbone. Sure. It's a hell of a shakeup.
It'd be a big time shakeup.
Big time.
And
But Tim Connolly ain't afraid of that stuff.
Big time. Yeah, he loves a big swing kind of trade, and bringing in Harden to the Timberwolves would be a big swing. You can make it work with Randall slotting in instead of Naz Reid and some other contracts there. It's just a little bit more complicated. But teams don't usually sell high. That's the thing Like Randall's playing well.
He
He's
is.
leading the team
Yeah,
in
yeah.
assists, but to me, his assists are all I can't get a bucket, so I'm going to drop it off for an assist. These aren't like in the flow of the offense creating for other assists all the time. That's something Harden is good at. It would take a lot of responsibility off Anthony Edwards' plate. Those two in the same locker room seems pretty hilarious to me to imagine. Harden and Edwards, they'll be on some Instagram pages, I do believe, if they were together. But I don't know. Like I said, I think the Timberwolves need some kind of a shakeup, even though they've gone to 2 straight Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Once they get there, they haven't been super competitive in either of them.
Yeah. And I wonder if this is too much of a shakeup for a team that's made 2 conference finals. That being said, they traded away Karl Anthony Towns. Would they want to trade another one of their bigs? Again, it's Rudy Gobert, and then you're just hoping like a Johan Beringer can fill minutes because, you'd rely on Randall, but you're pretty thin up front. So this is an interesting
But
one.
the return for for the Clips, like for this hypothetical Harden to Timberwolves, like that's not bad. Like the Dillingham piece is obviously very enticing.
Yeah, it is.
Naz Reid is a good player. Conley, a great vet. Whether he's like swung somewhere else. Joe Ingles, same thing. Like these are obviously professional guys. So that's like not brutal.
No, and
not.
And Naz Reid, I don't know, feels like he's been around a while. He's only 26, and Dillingham's super young. I wonder if there's more out there for James Harden in return. I'm not sure. That's a pretty good return. That being said, the last guy I'm going to go to with the Los Angeles Clippers, moving somebody out. It ain't moving a huge name out at all. Maybe they want to go for it. Maybe they want to say...
Go for what?
Well...
Go for 6 wins?
Yeah, well, basically, when we saw Norm Powell traded away for John Collins, we saw so much of their offense just go poof. They need somebody to be able to score the ball. So let's say they bring in Zach LaVine from the Sacramento Kings in return for John Collins, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, and Kobe Brown. The Kings are basically getting some size in John Collins. They're getting a little younger in Niederhauser, Conan Niederhauser. And, they get off LaVine. That's what it is here.
This is my crap for your crap.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, LaVine.
Exactly.
Yeah, money-wise, LaVine is paid this year, and then he's a player option for next year. So the Kings say, well, I'd rather have a John Collins in here. We'll see what that big guy, old Niederhauser, can do for us. Even though he hasn't done much for the Clippers at all in year number 1. The Clippers just don't have draft picks. So they may say, I don't think this is necessarily a season here where Ballmer says, we got to trade Kawhi or Harden. Maybe they just say, we need somebody else. We need talent. As our guys said, as Kawhi basically said, we need talent. Zach LaVine's talented. He can put points on the board. I don't know if this is enough for the Kings going back to them, but how much is coming back for the Kings?
Right.
For Zach LaVine?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, TK?
This almost makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Because it would change nothing. It would just be moving a lot of guys around. So I'm like, do it. You're like, oh, LaVine, man, he's an efficient scorer. The Clippers need somebody who can go get a bucket.
They
He
do.
can do that. He doesn't do anything else. And he's going to want to be paid as well. He'll have an extension or be eligible for an extension going into next year unless they just say, just play it out, take your player option. I suppose they could do that and then start the rebuild in earnest in LA. John Collins, like the Kings could use a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need size.
Bogdan Bogdanovic going back home.
Oh, yeah.
I actually
are
think
always
the
talking
Kings are
about it.
more interested in this weird deal than maybe the Clippers are. Because at least they get some flyers, as the guys to fill some holes in their obviously roster. Keegan Murray's back, so they have power forward now. But this really is the equivalent of like the Kings on one side of the street and the Clippers on the other side of the street, and they both got garage sales going. And the Clippers are like, I got a bunch of Beanie Babies here. Hey, what do you guys? That TV work? Nah, it barely works. So let's just swap them. I'm tired of looking at these Beanie Babies. Well, yeah, I'm tired of holding this TV, man. It's cost me a fortune. This works. This metaphor works.
Beanie Babies?
What's that?
Who do you think is the Beanie Babies?
Well, the Beanie Babies are the Kings.
specifically?
The Clippers have a bunch of Beanie Babies.
Okay,
Yeah. And
Zach
the TV's
Levine's
the old.
the
Zach
TV.
Levine's the old TV.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
What are the new Beanie Babies? The
Boo-boos?
Yeah.
the boo boo.
Yeah.
Boo boo. Yeah. And as far as the head of the Beanie Babies on the Clippers, they look at this and may say, we have got our entire roster paid through next season. And I don't know if we can give away Kawhi and Harden and all that. So let's just try something here with Zach LaVine to up our offense, because that would help.
Well, the issue is like their defense also sucks.
Yeah.
ass. So he ain't gonna help that.
No, he's not.
So
Yeah, that's
they're in a tough spot.
They're in a super tough spot, but this is the year of the Intuit Dome having the All-Star game. You know, Bomber might say we are going for it, because I don't know if they're pulling the plug here on a Kawhi or a Harden. I think it's a fair possibility that they trade for somebody to shake things up. So there's 3 deals. Tell me how dumb they are, if they're doable. I know they don't really excite a lot of people, I'd say, from both sides.
What are you talking about? These are emergency podcasts.
Oh,
Across the
gosh,
board, all
yeah.
3 of these.
Yeah, Harden on the Wolves.
Depending.
It's interesting.
Depending. Weekend. I don't know. Are we jumping on to do an emergency podcast on the weekend? Kawhi, yes. Kawhi, yes. If he goes to a team where you're like, whoa, that maybe changes the landscape.
Harden on the Wolves, yeah.
I would say Kawhi and Harden.
I'd say do it without me.
Both. I'm busy. Kawhi and Harden to me are both emergency podcasts, and a Beanie Babies for TV trade LaVine for
not doing it.
Collins and Bogdanovich. That's only if it happens during the week of the trade deadline. You know,
Okay.
like on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I can hop in the yard.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. All right, great stuff, Tass. We're going to have a lot more fun with the trade machines here as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, which is February 5th is the actual trade deadline. The reason I know that, I noted last night during the broadcast, the Olympics, the Winter Olympics start February 6th. I said, thank God the trade deadline will be done before the Olympics start. That's what I thought in my head. Although I'm not
God.
as into the Winter Olympics as I am in the Summer Olympics, that's still, you can catch me. You can get me with a good story. You can get me a good speed skating story. I'm in.
Oh, Bonnie Blair. What a legend.
All right, some other games. We got to briefly touch on the Suns snapping the Lakers' 7-game winning streak with the dominant 125-108 victory. Luka, 9 turnovers, tied a career high. And this is wild. All 9 of his turnovers resulted in steals for the Suns, which was the most live ball turnovers by any player in a game this season, according to ESPN research. Whole bunch of live ball turnovers. And on the other side, Dillon the Villain, a guy you wrote about on Substack, Tass, hit the link in the show notes, join our Substack page. He was awesome. And he was agitating the crowd, and he's mocking LeBron, doing his shoulder flex, poking the bear, and backing it up with a great game from him.
The Suns played harder. I want to give Dillon Brooks credit. I want to give Colin Gillespie credit.
Sure, yeah.
At the same time, they simply just played harder. We all know. Even though Luka came out, dropped 20 in the first quarter, they didn't have it. And you could see the absence of what Marcus Smart means to this team. He was out. I don't know why Vando didn't come in, because I know JJ Redick doesn't trust him. But no one was moving the ball. Right? Rui Hachimura, he almost had a Tony Snell line in this
A
game.
lot of cardio.
Yeah.
Super close, but he didn't.
Big board.
Yeah, one big board. I don't know how many times he touched the ball. He didn't touch it much. He's out there.
Speaking of the box score, did you see the Lakers had 1 steal? 0 blocks.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
That's rare, man.
That is pretty rare, but it
Yeah.
also kind of felt like that. Like,
Yeah.
this has got to be a little bit of a concerning game, I think, for JJ Redick, just the way the Lakers were completely shredded on pick and rolls. Like, DeAndre Ayton, he was in Vooch shrug mode all night long, like, trying to help on a pick and roll, but easy to pick off whoever was the point of attack defender for the Lakers. So that guy gets lost. then Ayton doesn't really step to anybody. He's like caught in no man's land in between, and nobody's tagging the roller behind. I thought Rui played a pretty bad game, maybe influenced by this post that's going around on Twitter of just the Lakers yelling at Rui nonstop for him being in the wrong place all the time. He's always in the wrong place, like, on both ends of the court. They're like, go stand over there. And then it's just LeBron somehow finds him for a pass. For a wide open three in the corner, but 26 points. Or 28-2 fast break points for Phoenix.
That's huge.
It was steal after steal, going the other way. 18 assists for the Lakers. It was just the Suns doing a great job of being smart with their help defense. Like, I don't know if Mark Williams can technically have a revenge game against the Lakers, but it felt like he was having. He played really well. He was really good help defense. And then the perimeter guys were able to stay attached to the shooters, probably because not a lot of threatening guys out there all the time for the Lakers. So a great performance, I thought, from the Suns. Gillespie went nuts in the fourth quarter, and Dillon Brooks was hilarious.
Oh my God. And he was hitting some like Kobe-like shots.
He looked amazing.
He was so good. He had 23 in the first half, 15 in the second quarter. That helped them get that big lead. There was one span where Dillon the villain was 10 of 11 from the floor, and he was definitely feeling it. I love this quote after the game from Colin about Dillon Brooks. Sometimes I'm trying to tell him to chill out, but I think he just blacks out. I think Dillon Brooks blacked out last night, but look, he was backing it up.
He was.
Yeah.
And this is a feud, especially between Dillon Brooks and LeBron James. Goes back to Dillon Brooks' time with the Grizzlies when that's the whole poke the bear thing came about. And then it didn't go well for Dillon, and I don't think he ever played again for the Grizzlies after that series, but obviously has sort of reinvented himself a little bit here with the Rockets, and then now here with Phoenix, and they're 13-9, and this is a very tough part of their schedule here. It's like they're playing the best teams basically in the Western Conference. Got the win over the Lakers on the road. Now they go to Houston, so could be a revenge game there for Dillon Brooks. Then they go to Minnesota, a little bit lower obviously in standings, and then they go to OKC, and then they play 2 games against the Warriors, then the Lakers again. Very difficult stretch.
Yeah, that first game against Houston, though, Houston's got to make up for losing against the Utah Jazz the way they did last night. But we're talking about a Phoenix Suns team that goes and beats LA. We didn't even mention Devin Booker because he left this game after only 10 minutes played. They didn't need him. They had Brooks and Colin Gillespie combining for 61 friggin' points. That's a lot of points against a team with Luka Doncic, who, again, he scored a lot. As I said, 20 points in the first quarter, but you could just see even from the first quarter, this team was not going to move the ball. You mentioned the lack of assists trade there with 18 or 19, depending on the box score that you look at. That's just not a lot for this team. They did not look cohesive at all. Too many turnovers for this team, and the Suns were just running 28-2 in fast break points. I mean, that just tells you the Lakers. Turnovers were self-inflicted, though, as well. Like, the Suns were good and playing hard, but Lakers were not ready to play.
You said Luka scored a lot, but that may have been the game plan from the Suns, because Luka, after the game, said, I feel like it definitely was a different defense than other teams play. They were kind of trying to let me go score instead of creating for others.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of confusing, but like I said, I just can't have it. And he's talking about the have it with the 9 turnovers. He took full responsibility, sloppy play, but was a little perplexed by how the Suns were more staying at home on other guys and letting him maybe try and operate one-on-one.
There were a lot of passes that Luka often makes to the corners, driving in, getting the help, and then just chucking it to the corner, and there was just a guy standing there the entire time. So I thought pretty smart stuff from the Suns coaching staff. Did you see Amir sitting courtside?
I did not.
He had great seats.
Damn.
Two seats down from Derek Fisher. Him and the guy he was with, when Colin Gillespie was going nuts, you should have seen this guy. Who is this guy?
Was it Jake?
That was not. According to the Gram, probably Amir's agent, if I'm guessing.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. The seats are that good. Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
So great win from Phoenix. Another game I wanted to get your take on was Cade Cunningham starring late again as the Pistons hang on to beat the Hawks. Sad Kaka. Close game, though. 99-98. Trey, any takeaways from the
teams
Pistons?
under 100. What's going on over here?
Yeah.
I think Nuggets and Mavs were both over 100 by the end of the third quarter, but Hawks got into this game in the fourth, had taken a lead by playing a zone defense and daring Detroit to take some three-pointers. Detroit went 5 of 26 from the three-point line on the night, but for whatever reason, the Hawks gave up on the zone midway through the fourth quarter. I thought that's when Cade Cunningham started playing the way he wanted to. whether it be in pick and roll or just attacking one-on-one with a tie game, 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. Cade scored 8 of the last 10 points for the Pistons. They were making good defensive plays. Ron Holland played really well. Karis LeVert was active in passing lanes. Asar Thompson, I thought, was really good in the fourth quarter. And then Cade had an incredible shot.
That was awesome.
This dagger layup.
Yep.
There's maybe 20 seconds left. The Hawks are trying to trap him. He somehow scored on all 5 Hawks. He splits Johnson and Daniels with a spin move at about half court, and then he goes through Wallace Okongwu and Nickeil Alexander-Walker to get to his left and finish on the other side of the court. He's been an awesome clutch player all year long, and this was him putting the team on his back when they weren't looking all that efficient on the offensive end and saying, hey, I'll take us to a nice W here.
Yeah, how many times this season already have we said basically Cade Cunningham scored 8 of his final points over the final 3 minutes to help the Pistons pull out or rally in a victory? So many times. All the AP reports start with that in every Pistons win, it feels like, because he's done it time and time again this season. But it was a fun game. I mean, it wasn't high scoring, but 2 of these teams on the come up for sure.
Yeah, and after Cunningham hit a pull-up jumper, it was a 2-point game, 30 seconds left. We saw our guy, it was Dyson Daniels inbounding the ball, and he got it back, and I thought he had a beautiful path to the lane. And Jalen Duren was there, but he decided to pass out to NYK Okongwu, who was hilariously still jogging out to the 3-point line, and then turned around and caught it, and then shot a 3-pointer that he missed. I thought Daniels should have shot that thing and tied that thing. And I just mentioned that because the fourth quarter was fun to watch. The Atlanta Hawks play basketball on the offensive end. Just how many guys are touching that thing? Jalen Johnson's on this incredible run that we talked about yesterday. Last 3 games now, 33 points, 13 boards, almost 9 assists, 50% from the floor, just doing it all. Nickeil Alexander-Walker on a frickin' run those 3 games, 26, 34, and 30. To go along with Dyson Daniels, who I just mentioned, and NYK Okongwu stepping in as the 4th guy. I believe in the Zachary Risache growth at some point. It is fun just to watch this team. So this was just a good game.
Yep.
Even though they weren't scoring, it was fun to watch.
The other games last night, Wizards beat the Bucks.
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr. had a big game, but 129-126. Middleton revenge game. McCollum played well. Lauri Markkanen scored 29. Keontae George, he bounced back after... Did he have an offer? I mean, he went over. He had an offer.
In the previous game against the Rockets.
That's right, but the Jazz got their revenge against Houston there, so they took care of business. Michael Porter Jr. scored a bunch. Nets beat the Hornets. And then Donovan Mitchell scored even more, 43 points. Cavs beat the Pacers. Any of those games you want to highlight, TK?
I watched Nets versus Hornets live.
Well, you are who you are, my guy.
Literally, I turned it on. I was like, people need to know that we actually watch these teams that stink.
Yeah. Facts.
Because they're good. There's still good players out there.
Some great plays in that game.
It was a fun game to watch. MPJ, Curious Mike, Peanut Man himself. This guy was killing. 35 points, 4 assists. 4 assists for Michael Porter Jr. That's like when Scott Skiles had 30 assists. 7 threes.
Equivalent.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
7 threes for Michael Porter Jr. It was his 6th 30-point game of the season. He had 3 last year for the Nuggets. Totally different roles at this point, but he was just letting it fly anytime he had a sliver of daylight, and that's why he owes Nick Claxton some kind of a dinner. I know Michael Porter Jr. doesn't like to tip for his dinners. You got to tip, even if you're spending a lot of money on your dinners. 9 screen assists for Claxton last night. 24 screen assist points.
Damn.
Yeah, I was deep.
Whoa, that is deep.
In the data, checking the screen assists, and it felt like he was just able to pick off whoever was guarding Michael Porter Jr., and then it didn't matter if they double teamed him anyways. He would just shoot over the top.
Yeah.
Danny Wolf played the entire 4th quarter.
That's your guy.
Kustak literally hit an after he hit a deep
good.
3 in the 4th quarter, but 10 points, 5 boards. He moves the ball. I don't think he ever touches the ball with 2 hands when he passes it. If he drives to the lane, it's like a one-hand dish to the outside. If he's swinging the ball, it's just a little scoop underneath. It's a very funny way to play. He's very big. He's a 7-footer.
Yeah.
And he's maybe not going to block a shot the entire year. He's push mode. He just stands in the way and hopes you miss. Sometimes it works. And so, I don't know. He played well on Saturday. I think he had 22, his first real run for the Nets. But he looks like he's at least got something. I don't know if he's fast enough to be like a starter in the NBA, but just an unusual skill set. And he threw down a huge dunk on top of Miles Bridges.
I was going to ask you, what was the better
everyone.
dunk? What was the better dunk? The Wolfman himself or Clowney had a huge one on Kalkbrenner, too. That was
he did.
A monster dunk.
They were throwing down.
Yeah.
I got to check the dunk score to know which one was better. That's the only way I can tell.
I had no problems watching the Hornets Nets. This was a great night for a multi-screen NBA app
I saw you
watching.
tweet that, yeah.
It was good. It was good. Danny Wolf has got some jokes too. They put him on, with the in-arena feed. If you're watching on the NBA app, you see him, or you see whatever's going on in the in-arena. And yeah, he had his own little segment where he was the guy making the jokes, and they're asking him, and people were laughing. Danny Wolf. So yeah, it was fun to watch that.
Segments called People Were Laughing.
Yeah,
with Danny Wolf.
people were laughing. I will say people were crying watching the Milwaukee Bucks and the Washington Wizards.
That was really good.
They went to Washington. Milwaukee went to Washington. It was Greek night. Halftime, there was Greek dancing happening. It was enjoyable to watch because Giannis is there. They go doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're destroying the Wizards in the third quarter. They're up double digits. You mentioned Kevin Porter Jr. He had his best game of the season so far. And the Bucks were balling. They hit 21 threes in this game. And they still lost because in the fourth quarter, they took their foot off the pedal. And they said, I think they assumed we're going to win because the Wizards had 9 second chance points in that fourth quarter, 15 offensive rebounds overall, 22 second chance points. That's where they lost this game. And then, without Alex Sarr, they're getting those boards. And then guys like Middleton and McCollum hit this freaking shot with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. That was huge for them. But somehow the Bucks, again, took their foot off the pedal. And I will just say about the Cavs, a day after you mentioned Jalen Tyson's quote saying, we got to play harder. Yeah. He had his best career game, and they had 28 second chance points. So they played hard, even though it was the Pacers. But still, the Pacers are definitely a more respectable team right now. So that was a good win for the Cavs anyways. It seemed like they played harder.
True, but I also thought of TK saying they only win when Donovan Mitchell goes for like 35 plus. Now, I don't think that was really the case last night because it was a pretty comfortable win, but he got there.
He got there.
And he looked amazing again.
He's the guy.
Yeah, 43 there, like I said.
It's not good for them that they need that. That's for sure.
Right. All right, those are the games from last night. It was some good action. You're right. You had the multi-view. You said so. All four. You had 4 boxes. Quad box.
You can go 4. And you could quickly switch one, drop one from the multi-screen if they go to halftime, and you don't want to watch the Greek dancing. You want to watch something else.
Any plates being broken? Or no, just straight.
You kidding me, bro?
Okay, I didn't see it.
No. Those traditional,
like the
traditional garments come out.
Okay.
So
did you know the song?
Well, yeah, they all sound the same.
Oh, okay.
They go like this. Anyway, and people dance. So yeah, that's how it goes. But yeah, an arena. It's fun. Was Christian Scooby out yesterday or was the day before? Because
I didn't see him last night.
No. Christian's always out.
Oh, God. The guy's he's a busy man. Dogs are busy. Scooby.
Dogs are busy.
I hope Scooby has an agent, man.
Full social schedule.
I bet you Christian's his agent, which I think is a conflict of interest, if we're being honest.
Why, you think Christian takes 10% of Scooby's fees?
He takes, I think, a lot more than 10%.
Yeah, sometimes I'll watch it.
Scoobs, if you're listening or watching, I'd love to represent you.
Yeah, because Scooby doesn't get enough cam time. He doesn't get enough camera time. Christian will be out there doing his headstands for like 4 minutes. And I say, where's the dog? It's literally just Christian doing headstands.
That's what he wants.
I know. But maybe he wants the attention. Maybe Christian just wants the attention.
Yeah, well, he's
what about the dog?
We love our guy Christian, man.
Scooby is nothing without Christian.
Wow.
Now that's my hot take.
Is a take.
Yeah. That's all right.
You think Christian is the show?
100%.
I could not disagree more.
Wow.
I am telling you right now, poll people leaving that arena that had the honor to watch Christian and Scooby perform at halftime. Poll them. Say, what do you remember from halftime? You think they're going to remember Christian?
That dog is literally riding around on
dog,
Christian's shoulders.
The dog also dunks. Thank you very much. They've added that. And the dunk does the transfer from ball to ball, which is always one of the more impressive things.
Okay.
And he goes in the little boombox.
Yeah, that's where the dog is. It's in the boot.
Christian taught him everything he knows.
Well, I understand that. Okay. Christian's dad taught him everything he knows.
100%.
It's literally true.
We know a lot about these guys. All right. Well,
Dog was just walking on Earth before Christian came around.
Little boy of the night, unsullied by sponsorship since November. But if you'd like to sponsor Little Boy, get in touch with us. Elprin Şengün is getting Little Boy of the night, even though it came in a loss. 31 points, matched a career high with 14 assists, shot 12 and 19 from the field, 6 of 8 at the line, grabbed 8 boards, game high 5 blocks, and 2 steals. So Elpy did it all there. Again, in a loss, but it doesn't matter with Will Boy. 38 minutes of action. We didn't talk about that game either. But good stuff from the Jazz there. You know, it's tough. No matter how bad or good a team is, tough to get those back-to-back wins. The old little baseball series, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Pick 'em tonight, Tass. Where are we going, my man? Because you and I got a victory last night.
We're going to the NBC game. Leading the night, we're going to Boston. Knicks are visiting.
Okay.
So I had to go with that. The second one is Thunder Warriors on NBC, and we got a decent skid overall. 6 games overall, but I had to go with Boston hosting the Knicks. They're a 1.5 favorite, so they got to win by 2. Skeets, you're taking Boston, while Trey and I are taking the New York Knicks.
I thought the line was a little funky, if I'm being honest. What's going on here? I would have thought the Knicks maybe would have been favorite.
I hear you.
Now I know there's some questionable guy. Like, I don't. Is Derek White playing? I would really like Derek White to play for my chances here, but I think he's questionable. Last I saw. But yeah, I'll take Boston. They're a weird team, man.
Is this?
They're scrappy. He's found his shot. He's on a heater right now. Jaylen Brown's like one of the top 10 players in the league that never gets talked about either. So I'll take Boston at home.
Yeah. They're not talked about a ton, as we've talked about on this show. Jaylen Brown's barely been talked about, but they are 11-9 compared to the Knicks 13-6. It feels like the Knicks are way farther ahead than the Celtics. But you got the Knicks, Trey.
Yeah, they've got the points. You know, that's kind of what it all comes down to for me, because both teams are playing pretty well right now. Concerning stat I heard after I made the pick, though, on Zach Lowe's podcast, talking with Mo DeKeel. The Knicks give up more threes than any team in the league. Celtics do take a lot of threes.
Just need to hit them. Need to hit them tonight, boys.
Make them. Derek White, probable is what I'm saying.
Okay, there you go.
Probably gonna play.
All right, so that's one of the games on Peacock for all, NBC for some, right? It's a coast-to-coast night. So the people on the West Coast,
That's right.
I do not believe on NBC get the game. Peacock, yes.
Confirmed.
They don't get the early one.
That's right.
But then on the West Coast, they get the late one. Yeah.
OKC Golden State, that's nice too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We got Wizards, Sixers, okay. Blazers, Raptors, Wolves, Pelicans, and Grizzlies, Spurs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. We will be here tomorrow to potentially talk about some of those games. But also, this is fun. We got a special guest tomorrow. Pierre Andreessen from Numbers on the Board and his own pod, Teed Up, is swinging by. Well, not swinging by. He's jumping on a Zoom call.
Zooming by.
He's zooming by. But we'll have some fun asking Pierre some questions as we hit the quarter mark of the NBA season. This guy always good for a take or two.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if we want to do it. We could try and stump him on players, what school they went to. You know, he's like an encyclopedia with that stuff.
Oh.
He's very, very good at
Okay.
it.
That's a good idea.
He's just one of those people that knows 99% of where a guy went to college.
We're going to have to find some freaks.
We could try. I've seen him do some amazing ones. It's like, whoa, that's wild. So anyway, very excited for Pierre from Numbers on the Board. We've had Kenny on before, so let's have Pierre on. That's tomorrow. We'll see you live at 10 a.m. Eastern here from the Classic Factory. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, when it comes to the Christian and Scooby halftime show, according to our fans, which is the only opinion that matters, Scooby is the show. Wow. 80% to 20% in our poll. JD just drops a wow. Unbelievable.
Wow. Brace the day, people.